Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Yay, Series 12 reviews are back. So today I'm going to be reviewing Spyfall Part 1. So we have the cast starring the Doctor as Jodie Whittaker, Yasmin as Amanda Gill, Bradley Walsh as, Graham, and then we've got Tosin Cole as Ryan. Wow, what an episode. Such a great start to Series 12. There are so many things I want to talk about in this video, and the Master at the end was such a twist. I loved it. I was really not expecting that. Throughout the episode, I was thinking, should the Doctor really trust this guy? Does she know who he is? And I thought, from such a nice character, something was bound to happen. It was a great choice to bring back the Master, especially as we haven't seen him since Series 10 in The Doctor Falls and World Enough in Time. Now, my overall thoughts on the Master himself. The actor's quite good, actually. I do like him portraying the Master. He's a bit too manic, in other words, mad, and I think he could have been a little less over the top. Like, I think most of the Masters, they're pure evil, but they're quite charming in a way, which is what he isn't. He's just, ballistic, over the top. And, he's not showing that evil. He's just showing that he's a mad psychopath in my eyes. Now, I've heard that so many people like this new Master, so I'm sorry going against all of you. Please don't judge me on it. I mean, to be fair, he was an okay Master, but just a few of those characteristics I think they could have improved on. So, I think Yasmin and Ryan have definitely developed since Series 11, so much better, much more dialogue as well. Yeah, really impressed about that. We've got two guest stars in this episode. Stephen Fry as, I think it's C. Yeah, he's a really good character. He's part of the MI6, I believe. And then we have Lenny Henry as I honestly can't remember his name. He is brilliant as that villain. You think he's a nice character at the start, but then you start to realise that he's 93% human and 7% alien. And you think, there's something wrong going on with his DNA. So, yeah, that was just brilliant. I love the car chase at the end with the motorbikes. Definitely like a James Bond thriller. Especially the music that really did set it off. And I think the music really has improved in this episode compared to Series 11, which is a bit soft in areas. But this is more like Murray Gold, more dramatic and heroic, which is what I really like to see in Doctor Who. So it's great about the music. It's brilliant how the Doctor and her friends go undercover in those black suits. And it's quite a coincidence that the Doctor wears a bow tie. And I'm surprised that she doesn't say bow ties are cool, like Matt Smith. I think quite a few people were expecting Graham to die in this episode. And I can see why, following the footsteps after Grace. I think we were kind of seeing that as a possibility for the future of Doctor Who, really. And, maybe him for the next character to go, maybe. But surprisingly, he didn't die in this episode. And I remember in the trailer, we got a short glimpse of Yasmin crying. And we all assumed at that point that it was Graham's death. But actually, she was just grieving over the fact that those horrible creatures had just tried to kill her. So, onto those, creatures that could go through walls and stuff. I'm not sure what they are called, but they are fantastic. They are so creepy and scary, and I can see why they were saying that the monsters of Series 12 are going to be much more creepier. I just love how they can go through walls. I can see them having a lot of potential in the future. I'd love for those villains to return, and they're just fantastic. I just love them. What's really funny, though, is that they actually remind me of a lizard because they can blend in with their surroundings, which is fantastic. And, it really does build up the suspense because the characters don't know that, they might be in the wall or they might be in a chair. It's just really tension, and it just builds up so fantastically. Going back to the title, I think they sort of did copy James Bond in a way, as there is a film called Skyfall, and this is called Spyfall. Yeah, seeing the similarities, are you? And also the fact that this is sort of Bond-related. You've got the casino scenes in the house as well as, the Bond-themed thriller with the chases and the music, really. But I don't mind that. I think it's just great to blend in Doctor Who and James Bond. Fits fantastically. I just love the chase scene, especially the one at the start as well, because, the Doctor and Yaz and who else are in the car, and that guy gets assassinated, and then they just get driven all over the place on the motorway, and they're just panicking. It's just brilliant, because at that point we have no idea what's controlling the car, and it's just like, hang on, what's going on here? It's just brilliant to see him screaming as the car is rampaging up and across the carriages on the motorway. It's just brilliant, love that. And surprisingly, there's a lot of death in this story. For some reason, a lot of people seem to die. Onto the Doctor's character now. I feel like she's a lot less inconsistent as she was in Series 11. And, you know, they've sort of touched upon that and changed her character in a way. And compared to Series 11, she's fantastic in this episode. Really like how she acts. She's very serious in this episode. There are a few moments when she says, "All right, fam," or, you know, something like that. But she is quite serious and more like the characteristics of the Doctor. Whereas in Series 11, she was all over the place. She was, like, really funny and then really mad and silly, and then she was serious. It was just really bad, needed developing. But they've gone back to that now, and she is as better as ever. I am sorry if this review's a bit over the place, because I'm sort of touching upon things and then moving on to something else and then coming back to that. So sorry if I'm going back and forth. That's just all down to the excitement, really, and just so much to talk about, really. So going into the Master's tissue compressor, that really reminded me of the Delgado Master. I don't know if any of you watched Terror of the Autons, which you probably have. He uses that same idea, and he compresses the man into that tiny little box when he's in the radio telecast thing. It's just brilliant that we get to see that again, and it's showing that the Master's really evil, and I just love that character. And going back to the Master as well, I know I've already said this, but it was such a twist. I was sitting on the sofa thinking, this guy's actually quite nice. But then the Doctor was saying, "Oh, but there's one thing else." And then we realised that this guy is someone else. But then I thought he was going to be like, you know, someone trying to delete them, or he was the person under all of this, or something like that. But then when he repeated the word Master, that made me think, and I was like, no, you can't be. And then I realised who he was. That was so amazing. I was so excited in that. Like he's done with the Master, I hope Chris Chibnall brings back some more classic monsters and sort of interprets them into a new design, which would just be fantastic. You know, some of my mentions would probably be Sea Devils, Ice Warriors, Zygons, one of those. That would just be brilliant. Love to see them again. Now, the plot itself was very complex. There was a lot going on, and I thought it was just fantastic. Really great start to this series, and I can see it has very much potential. Unlike Series 11, I think they have improved on things, and hopefully they will do this with this series. So I am positive that this will be a good series for once. You know, there might be a few dodgy episodes here and there, but I can see that this series might do well, actually. So yeah, quite excited for what is to come, and really excited for the next part. Looks absolutely fantastic. So overall, I really do like the story. The twist with the Master is really good. Although I don't really like his character, it's still really good. We've got the chase scenes as well, and everything, you know, from the guest stars to those horrible creatures. It's such a fantastic episode. So overall, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. So that is it for this review. Tell me what you thought of this episode in the comments below. So I hope you have enjoyed. Subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye for now.